Tonight, the conviction of a former media mogul, a watershed moment for some women, now taking back the narrative after living for years in silence. Tonight, their powerful voices and brave stories. They are among the first women to come forward against Harvey Weinstein, the original silence breakers, actress Rosanna Arquette and Rose McGowan, praising today's conviction.
It's a step in the right direction. It's vindication for all the women being harmed. It gives hope to other victims that when they report a crime, their voices will be heard.
Today is a powerful day and a huge step forward in collective healing.
Today's verdict, a watershed moment for the more than 90 women who say Weinstein assaulted them, including Tarale Wulff, who testified against Weinstein in court.
Harvey Weinstein is now a convicted rapist. What goes through your mind?
Hearing it said so bluntly and cleanly, it's landing heavy right now. Nobody wants to offend you or nobody wants to see you cry like this, but I want to let it out because I've been holding it back for so long.
Vindication.
It is vindication.
Tarale was a 28-year-old waitress and aspiring actress at a trendy New York restaurant when she first met the Hollywood mogul.
Where I worked, we were told who people were when they walked in, if they had, a name of sorts. We were always warned so that we, make sure they had the best service or felt like they were important.
She was asked by prosecutors to testify about her own story to help bolster the case and establish a pattern of behavior.
What was it like to speak in a packed courtroom and to be under the harsh glare of defense cross-examination?
The physical aspect of walking into the courtroom, it's overwhelming and intimidating.
She testified that after being manipulated into meeting Weinstein at his apartment, he held her down and raped her.
I think it's important to understand what somebody like Tarale or the other woman who testified really had to go through. I mean, I don't think anything could prepare anyone, frankly, for walking into that room with 100 journalists, with a group of defense lawyers sitting at the table, and Harvey Weinstein looking very menacing. When she was raped and then have to undergo a cross-examination, that is not easy for anyone.
How did Harvey Weinstein use his power against you?
I apologize for the pause, but
No, take your time.
the intimidation of his demeanor, his stature, both in his own mind and ego, and his physical stature, which is incredibly different from what he looks like today. Even his network of who he knows when he walks into a room, his association with, at the time, my boss.
So the defense basically accused you of not remembering certain things or that it was too fragmented.
Knowing how long ago my event happened, I guess we kind of assumed that that's what they would go for, but what I was reminded of by other people, and I kept telling myself, you know your truth, you know your story. My story has not changed. I had never replayed it for anybody like that before.
That publicly, certainly.
That publicly. That was definitely the hardest, because when you say it out loud, it becomes a little more real, and when it stayed inside of me, it was my story, my secret, and didn't have to be real. But that's also part of the cleansing, is to say it out loud. And then the other hurdles were, what about me would come under attack?
And what was it like to face Harvey Weinstein?
To be honest, I avoided looking over when I walked through and sat down. There was a moment where I felt like I needed to, like for some strange reason, I did glance over and it sort of got me a little. So I needed to kind of retract a little bit and just sit back and realize I'm not here for that.
Are you glad you testified?
I'm so glad I did.
Why?
Because of how I feel right now. As you said earlier, the Gloria said, courage is contagious. It got me to come forward, and it's getting other people to come forward. That's what I'm getting from this, and I hope other people are too.
Weinstein's conviction, a major legal victory for the Me Too movement.
Are you proud?
I've heard the word proud, brave, and courage a lot directed at me, and I haven't quite registered that yet. I'm trying to, and I think it's really humbling, so it does bring out this emotion. I'm not quite there yet, but I think I will love to embrace that word, proud.